Hello YouTube and welcome to lesson 10 of the Adobe Illustrator tutorial series. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the options of lines. So what we looked in the last lesson is just the surface area. So what we actually have deeper level of effects over here. So you can change the style over here from the graphics, or you can change the opacity of the line that is there. But the main thing over here is the option of the stroke over here. So once I create a stroke, what you actually see over here is just a plain stroke. So if I were to click over here in the stroke option, or I can also do this on the side, you can click on the stroke option over here. You normally don't see anything, but if you were to click over here and click show options, you can see that there's some really good options over there. So you can change the profile into uniform or anything that we saw over here. But here, what I can do is I can change other options. So for this demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this kind of a shape just like this. All right. So let me just zoom it in. You can see that the edges of this stroke is actually very straight and very pointy. So it is because the cap is by default very pointy. It's a butt cap. So if I were to change it to rounded cap, then you can see that the end now becomes round, but the edges actually just becomes pointy. So you can see that this gives much more smoother effect. But if I were to do this, then it actually comes a bit further than the stroke area. So you can see that this is a stroke area. And if I do this, then it actually cuts off the portion. And if I were to do this, it actually comes above. But for a smoother look, I'm going to do this. So this is for the caps. And for corners, this is right now set to meter joint. So if I were to click rounded joint, then you can see that this actually becomes rounded. And if I were to press a bevel joint, then it actually bevels, it actually cuts off the portion. Let me say I want it rounded joint. And in the corner, there's a limit over here as well to how much it can bend. I'm just gonna do this. And I can also enable dash lines over here. So right now the dash is set to 12 points and it has default level of gap. So if I were to say 12-point gap, over here, so let me just select this out, 12-point gap, or let's say 20-point gaps. You can see that the gap actually increased over here. So I can use 12-point dash to actually add in the dash over here. So I can add 3 dashes over here. So I can say 12. Let's use 5 to create different set of designs over here, and let me just add in a 30 dash with 2 pixels of gap. So you can see that I can actually have multiple sort of gaps with different designs by using the 3 gaps over here. So I can also use this tool to actually change the look out of the option over here. So I can also use arrowheads just like I can use in Word. So I can add the arrowheads in the front or the arrowheads at the end. So I can choose different arrowheads for both ends just like that. So you can also change the scale of the arrowheads over here. So I can increase the scale of the arrowhead on the left and scale the arrowhead on the right as well. So you can simply change the size accordingly to what you want. So you can change the alignment of the arrow as well to align it to the left or right. And you can choose, of course, the type of the design that you want. And you can see that you can have really interesting design in just a few clicks. So these are the line options that you can use in your designs. Hope you guys learned something as always. And as always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.